Hey, this is Brooke, functional medicine dietitian specializing in fertility, and this is the Fertility Dietitian podcast, where I help you uncover the barriers that are preventing you from optimizing your fertility and teach you how to work with your body to finally take home a healthy baby. Each week, I will be diving into different topics on fertility and sharing my perspective on physiology, metabolic health, nutrition, and lifestyle approaches that have helped hundreds of couples get pregnant even after years of heartache. My goal is to empower you with the knowledge you need to take back control of your fertility. Happy listening. We are talking all about a vegan or vegetarian diet and potential challenges that come up for fertility. So, for clarification, a vegan diet pattern doesn't have any animal foods in it, while a standard vegetarian eating pattern includes eggs and dairy, but no meat or seafood. And I'm not here to judge anyone for choosing a vegan or vegetarian diet pattern, right? I do want you to have all of the honest data so you can make the best decision for your fertility, your longevity, and your future tiny humans, okay? So nutrients that are crucial for fertility are extremely hard to get when we are limiting animal foods and can even be impossible to get with total elimination of animal products. Eating more plants is beneficial, but and this is a big but, there isn't any evidence supporting a complete elimination of animal products for fertility. There is, however, evidence showing the risks of undereating animal products on fertility and fetal development. So this means that even if you haven't completely eliminated animal products, like a vegan diet pattern, if you are limiting them to eggs and dairy in a vegetarian eating pattern, you are still putting your fertility at risk. In other words, there isn't any reliable data that tells us meat or animal protein is actually harmful for fertility. Many studies downplay or completely leave out the benefits of meat when they conclude results, and many of these studies are poorly designed and even prematurely categorize meat as unhealthy prior to even doing the study. So there's a lot of bias that can come into play there. We can't deny that there are big red flags for fertility when we limit animal foods. So how exactly does limiting animal foods from our diet impact things like egg quality, hormone balance, and development of a baby? Well, we're going to focus on two main areas in this episode. We're going to focus on protein and micronutrients, which our micronutrients are our vitamins and minerals. So, first of all, undereating protein is a major concern with both vegan and vegetarian diets, and we will talk all about this. And second of all, there's a major challenge of getting many nutrients that are crucial for fertility when limiting animal foods, which we will dive more into as well. So starting with protein, protein is crucial for healthy menstrual cycle, including how our follicles are developing, our egg quality, ovulation itself, and then even fertilization, implantation, fetal growth, and development in pregnancy. Protein from plant food is not as bioavailable as protein from animal foods. This can be a common misconception. Okay, this means that it's actually harder for our bodies to use the protein from plants. Most plant foods that have protein have a low quality of protein, incomplete amino acids, and amino acids are the protein building blocks, which we'll talk more about. And they are harder to digest due to anti-nutrients like phytates, tannins, and lectins. Okay, so less bioavailable, not as easy for our bodies to use for a variety of reasons, which we'll talk more about. If you are a seasoned vegan or vegetarian, you've probably focused on getting your essential amino acids in. And these essential amino acids are protein building blocks that our body can't make. Non-essential amino acids, which many of these non-essential amino acids are from animal foods, were once thought to be made by our bodies if we get the essential amino acids in. But in about the last decade, we've learned a lot more about amino acids, and amino acids that were once considered non-essential are not made sufficiently in our bodies. meaning we need even more high quality animal proteins than we once thought in order to get these other amino acids in. Okay. In other words, all amino acids are technically essential for optimal health and fertility. Take taurine, for instance. It's an amino acid that supports our heart, our liver, our gallbladder, our muscles, our reproductive organs, our immune system, our brain, and more. It is actually found in higher concentrations in our ovarian fluid and the semen, higher concentrations in those areas than anywhere else in the body. This makes sense because it does have great antioxidant properties and is very supportive of mitochondria function, which there's a lot of in these fluids. And we need a lot of support in protecting these areas of reproduction to support things like egg quality and sperm quality. A deficiency in taurine, which was once thought to be non-essential or one that we don't have to get from food, is associated with irregular cycles, miscarriage, and developmental abnormalities in baby. It is crucial for baby's brain development, and the richest sources of taurine include shellfish, seafood, and meat. Taurine isn't found in measurable amounts in plants. Okay, so this is a big red flag telling us that, well, the protein that we're getting, even if we're focusing on essential amino acids, is not the same as what we are getting from animal foods. Okay. So you might be wondering, okay, but I'm vegetarian. I do include dairy and eggs. We'll talk a little bit more about this as well. Other amino acids like carnitine, creatine, and glycine have a big impact on fertility, and they're non-existent or nearly impossible to get enough of without enough animal protein as well. And these are also, or were at least once considered, non-essential amino acids. But it turns out we are not producing those very sufficiently, even if we are getting our essential amino acids in. So some researchers are considering these conditionally essential, but the more and more we learn about them, it really appears that all amino acids are actually essential for optimal health and fertility. Okay. And we cannot get all amino acids from plant proteins. Okay. So a vegetarian should be getting at least 20% more protein overall than omnivores or meat eaters due to the decreased bioavailability in plants. Okay, so 20% more overall protein intake. And this is if 50% of these protein needs are coming from animal sources like eggs and dairy. Okay. Unfortunately, most vegetarians are under eating protein by over 30%. And these stats are all based on outdated data for protein needs. So protein intake is actually much lower than this. Okay. Foods that are considered protein sources in a vegan and vegetarian diet, like beans, legumes, grains, and meat substitutes, naturally make these diets higher in carbohydrates, which can have a negative impact on blood sugar and hormone balance. Meat substitutes themselves can also be a trap for highly processed, highly inflammatory, and low nutrient foods. Keep in mind that supplements are not the same as food. And even though high quality supplements in the right forms can help us fill in the gaps, there is still a lot we don't know about how nutrients work together in food or the synergy of these nutrients. Okay. Many nutrients are lacking, completely missing, or difficult to use in a vegetarian or vegan diet, and we can't really out supplement this. Careful planning is necessary for adequate B12, iron, choline, glycine, DHA, retinol, which is the active form of vitamin A, vitamin K2, iodine, selenium, and zinc. So let's talk more about why we should be concerned about these nutrients that are lacking when we're limiting animal foods. Vitamin B12, for instance, works with vitamin B6 and folate in genetic programming. or methylation of a maturing egg, sperm, and an embryo. So this genetic programming is another way to talk about like egg quality, sperm quality, and the development once fertilization happens. This process is technically called methylation, and nutrients are heavily involved in this. There are a lot of other nutrients in addition to B12, B6, and folate, a lot of micronutrients, including ones like choline, that are also involved in this process. But if we are not getting enough B12, we are going to see problems in every step of fertility and even in your menstrual cycle itself. So vitamin B12 is crucial for reducing miscarriage, reducing neural tube defects, and supporting normal development. An average of 62% of vegetarian women are deficient in B12. And this is with including eggs and dairy, but not meat or seafood. All right. Being deficient in B12 during pregnancy and breastfeeding has irreversible effects on motor development and growth in baby. Okay. This is a big deal. Choline. Choline's a newly hyped nutrient for a really good reason. Like B12, choline plays an important role in methylation, turning on good genes and off not so good genes. During the preconception phase, this genetic programming improves conception and the chance of having a healthy baby. During pregnancy, choline is essential for fetal brain development as well, right? Retinol, which is the active form of vitamin A, is different from the carotenoids found in orange and red plant foods. And retinol is essential for development of the immune system, the heart, and the eyes. And it is found in animal foods. If you're eating dairy and eggs, you're definitely going to support, especially full fat dairy and whole eggs. You are going to be getting some vitamin A, but it can be hard to meet needs if you're not also including other animal proteins. Zinc is found in many plant foods, but it isn't absorbed well from plants because they are also high in things that inhibit zinc absorption, like phytic acid. Zinc deficiency is correlated with increased miscarriage, preterm delivery, and neural tube defects. We see zinc just associated with poor sperm parameters as well. Okay. I do want to note that there are additional concerns like undereating fat, a higher rate of inflammatory fat consumption, high carb intake, and low overall calorie intake when eating a vegetarian or vegan diet pattern as well. All of these aspects also impair fertility in a variety of ways as well. Okay. There are also many more nutrients to consider when limiting or eliminating animal foods and trying to conceive. So very careful planning of a vegetarian diet can help you get closer to meeting necessary nutrient requires, can help you get closer to meeting necessary nutrient requirements. But if you are vegan and struggling to conceive or carrying to term, I strongly encourage you to reconsider incorporating animal foods. And in either case, if you're a vegetarian or vegan, consider working with a fertility dietitian. Your future tiny human is so worth it. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fertility Dietitian podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review to let me know what topics you want more of or less of. If you want to keep learning, subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out my website for more info on my private coaching program, Master Your Fertility, or my membership community, Fertility Blueprint. And don't forget my digital store. Come say hi on YouTube and Instagram. See you in the next episode.